Good afternoon, YouTubers. Welcome back in to another edition of Astros Recap. David Artis here to break things down for you. Finally, games to talk about. Hopefully sound quality sounds a little bit better. I do have a small microphone set up here in front of me, but it is Tuesday, July 28th, 2020, of course, 4:17 p.m. You'll probably watch this video as the series is going on with LA, or even deeper in. They played the Angels after that over the weekend. Finally hit the road there. But I wanted to come at you today. I know I talked about Sunday night on my previous podcast, for those of you that listen. But it would have been a weird day to do it. I talked about guests. My friends were uninterested. Things sort of got out of hand. But since the series didn't end until Monday, which was yesterday, for me at least, I wanted to wait till usually Sunday night's a good night because I recap the entire week. Series have ended. This season is going to be a little different, so we'll just sort of see. But Sunday night should be my regular night, but I wanted to wait for this first series to end before I actually started recapping things. But yes, finally games to talk about. There's a lot going around the league. The Marlins already first team to sort of have the coronavirus outbreak. Before I get into the Astros here, so yeah, there's 15 players, 2 personnel, coaching staff that have the virus, and they're not letting them play for the entire week here. So they were postponed yesterday and for the rest of the week. The Phillies, who were their opponent, are also postponed. They were postponed yesterday, again today. And it's already sort of confusing. In a 60-game schedule season where you have, I think, 6 off days, each team, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. But as long as games keep being played, I'm going to keep talking about them. But the Marlins are the first team to sort of have the hardship with the virus. Like I said in previous podcasts, the virus isn't going anywhere. It's still here. We just have to sort of, take every precaution we can to contain it, I guess. But every other team, I think, is fine. I mean, there's a few, of course, that opted out because of the health concerns, but every other team, I think, is coronavirus free, except, the Marlins had it, so they took 2 or 3 in Philadelphia over the weekend. So they're 2-1, but now their season's sort of put on hold. Manfred talked about possibly relocating teams if there is a hot spot, and Miami is one of those hot spots. So it's just to wait and see this sort of time for them. But like I said, entire week they're off. So by Monday of next week, we'll sort of see how things play out. But the Astros, right on schedule, finished up their 4-game set with the Mariners, in which they went 3-1. 1-3, lost 1, so have to be happy with that, obviously. Couldn't have asked for a whole lot more. After watching Game 1 and Game 2, winning both of those, I thought that they breezed right through the series, but ran into some trouble with Zach Greinke, and of course Josh James had a chance in Sunday's game, but we blew it. More specifically, Chris Davinsky blew it. And then Josh James wasn't very good either, but the offense sort of saved everybody in yesterday's game. But anyway, so I'll go game by game. Only 4 games to talk about here. Friday, of course, opening day. So Justin Verlander gets the start, and we'll talk more about him in a little bit here. But this was a prototypical Justin Verlander type start. Not always, but I feel like if he's giving up runs, it's usually via the long ball. And sure enough, he gave up 2 solo home runs. 2, Kyle Lewis. A lot of these players you probably won't know. Kyle Seager, of course, longtime Mariner. I'm sure most of y'all know who Kyle Seager is. But yeah, they had the 2 solo home runs. The Astros were actually behind early on. They did get a run at Martin Maldonado with an RBI single to tie it. Then Seager hit the home run for Seattle to retake the lead, and the rest of the way it was all Astros as Altuve had an RBI single. Bregman, RBI single. Brantley had a 3-run home run, which really broke it open there. So they had like a 4-run fourth or 5-run fourth. Let's see. Clicking through my phone makes things a little bit tougher. And when it starts to mess up, I start losing things. But the Astros had the big innings in some of those games here. It's not even working right now. Perfect timing for my phone to not work or screw up the way it does often here. Here we go. So it was a 5-run fifth.
It's great.
5-run fifth. Broke it open. Made it 6-2. The Astros win that 8-2. Verlander goes 6 innings, giving up those 2 runs. And then the bullpen came in. Davinsky had a scoreless inning, giving up a hit. Actually struck out the side, but gave up a hit. Blake Taylor, guy I've liked so far. We will talk about him in a little bit, but he had a scoreless inning. And then Enoly Paredes also scoreless. 9th inning. It was 8-2. It didn't really, not a lot of stress there. It wasn't a very tight game. So, you scored our runs. Brantley, of course, had the big day. With the home run, of course, but good to get a win on opening day. The Astros 8th straight, I believe, which actually leads the majors. I know Baltimore, I think, had it for a while there, but they have lost on opening day. They might have done it last year as well, but I feel like Baltimore at some point had like 5 or 6 straight opening day wins. But the Astros, since they got to the American League in 2013, they have won every single opening day. So that's nice to get off to a 1-0 start, I guess. And then Saturday rolls around. Lance McCullers gets the start. He, of course, coming back from Tommy John surgery. He was good. I think the line is actually a little bit better than the way he pitched. And the reason I say that is he was in trouble in both the first and second innings, but was able to get ground balls that turned into double plays. But he, like Verlander, went 6 innings. He was actually pretty stretched out. Like, Verlander was efficient in his pitch count, I felt like. I'm not sure the exact number, but 70, 80 seemed about right. McCullers was well into his 90s pitch count-wise, which I thought was a little strange. I mean, I know he had a outing against the Royals in an exhibition game, so he was sort of, I guess, more up to speed than some of the other pitchers. But, yeah, he pitched into his 90s. He got 6 innings, 2 runs. Basically same line as Verlander. Of course, the strikeouts, walks a little different, obviously. But to have his actual line, McCullers 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs. Both of those earned. He struck out 6, walked 3. And then Christian Javier, scoreless inning along with Cy Snead. And Osuna, a guy I wasn't sure was going to make our roster because he showed up to camp late and was sort of behind in sort of his progression to get ready for the season, I guess. That was sort of a outing to, like I said, the game was over. Not over, but 7-2, you feel pretty good. So that was just some extra work for Osuna. Use him in Major League games to get ready for the Major League season is what they're doing with Osuna. But, yeah, so another win, 2-0, feeling good. Like I said, at the end of Saturday, I was like, let's just get these 2 games. Let's sweep them, because then you got the Dodgers and you got stiffer competition coming up after that. So that was sort of my philosophy. Of course, they lose Sunday. A lot of things in this game that actually irritated me. I'll get to here. One of those things was Zach Greinke got pulled after 58 pitches and only going 3 1/3 innings, which was disappointing. I mean, I would have understood. I was expecting to get some sort of update after the game, like he, I don't know if he didn't feel well, or they talked about endurance, which I think is ridiculous. Greinke's been in the league more than 15 years, and you're going to tell me? I understand with the coronavirus and the spring training in March, halfway through, shutting things down, getting ramped back up in a 3-week span is a lot. I don't know. I feel like the way, with AJ Hinch last year, the way he, I feel like Greinke's sort of being protected. Like they're scared to like let him work out of jams, whether it's the fifth, sixth innings. They just go ahead and pull him. And if Greinke's saying, "Hey, I'm not feeling, my stamina's down," but the word endurance was used, and even after the game, Greinke came out and said, he goes, "I don't know about my next start or the start after that, but hopefully things will get back to the way, I just, I don't get it. 3 1/3, 58 pitches. Come on, dude. I mean, you've done this, like I said, more than 15 years. You should be able to get yourself ready, even if there's not, a whole lot of major league exhibition games, which there wasn't. But I'm sorry. I talked about Greinke being good. We'll see, obviously, but I mean, after seeing Lance McCullers being stretched out to more than 90 pitches, granted he did get one of those starts in the exhibition games, I just thought that Greinke could at least get out of the fourth inning, but no, they went to the bullpen, and they bring in Joe Biagini, who not only allows the inherited runner, Greinke's runner, to score, but he allowed one of his own. So Biagini, early in the season, talk about first impressions, not very good. Try to give everybody a fair chance, new season, things like that, but Biagini, obviously not very good. Also, so later in the game, all right, so we're down, 2-1, 4-1. We actually come back and take the lead. Gurriel had a bases-loaded RBI single. Josh Reddick had a RBI walk with the bases loaded. And Martin Maldonado, who's been off to a hot start, had a 2-run single, which gave us the lead 5-4. Stayed that way for a few innings. Obviously, you're sort of deep into your bullpen at this point. Hopefully, I can pull this back up. We'll see if I can here. But like I said, so we all know that, like I just mentioned, that Biagini came in and gave up, Greinke's inherited run and one of his own. Brian Abreu came in, got an inning and 2/3. He walked 2 guys, struck out a batter, but no runs. Blake Taylor, once again, an inning and a third. He struck out 2. He's been very good. Blake Taylor, guy, one of the guys I had never seen before, actually was acquired in the trade that sent Jake Marisnick to the Mets. And he's a left-handed reliever, which the Astros really haven't had a solid one in many years. So Blake Taylor, everything so far has been very good. And then Davinsky comes in and he blows the save, giving up 3 runs, all of them earned. Did strike out a batter, walked a batter. He just wasn't good enough. So if there's 2 pitchers that I am not fond of so far, it is, of course, Joe Biagini and Chris Davinsky. All the young guys, the guys I haven't seen before, have not allowed any runs to this point, Sunday's game. So yeah, the whole Greinke thing bothered me. Davinsky, of course, bothered me. One other thing. So Dusty Baker, who I'm not going to be critical of just yet, had 3 different DHs the 3 days up to Sunday. It was Alemnis Diaz in the opener, which I was okay with. Like Kyle Tucker, as we mentioned, should be like your full-time or DH until we get Alvarez back. But the reason he didn't start Tucker on opening day was because they were facing a lefty, and they wanted Diaz, of course, to have a better matchup. So I can understand that. Tucker did get the DH start the next day. Had an RBI double, looked pretty good. But in Game 3, another lefty. You could have gone back. Well, actually, no. Diaz got hurt. So Diaz actually got hurt on opening day, and Toro actually had the last few at-bats at DH, but they put Alemnis Diaz on the IL. So on Sunday, Taylor Jones, a guy I do not really know, when he first got up, they had some news. He's like a 19th round pick, but he had probably the worst 2 at-bats you could have as a DH. He grounded into a double play, his first at-bat, and then he struck out on 3 pitches his next at-bat, and that was actually a crucial situation with the bases loaded, nobody out. The Astros also, later in that game, had a leadoff triple by Josh Reddick and was not able to score him. So when you look at those little things when you lose by a run, yeah, they do add up. But Taylor Jones was sent right back down to AAA. I don't know why he was even in the lineup to begin with. I mean, is there like something about Tucker that says he can't hit lefties? Because I would like to know if there is. I'd give him a chance as your everyday DH. I think he is. Well, they DH Brantley actually on Monday, I believe. Yeah, I think that's right. And Tucker got to start out in left field. I had the lineup earlier today for tonight's game, but I think Tucker is back in there probably as DH. But yeah, I mean, Diaz is on the IL. Taylor Jones got sent back to, I guess, nowhere really. I mean, if you're off the team, there's no AAA you go to since no games are being played. But they called him another bullpen pitcher, so it's a few more no-names really. One actually pitched well on Monday, which I'll get to. I want to sort of close off Sunday's game here. So they lose 7-6 because Davinsky blew it. That was really the big thing. But the whole Greinke, Taylor Jones, Chris Davinsky thing were the three things that bothered me in that game. But we bounced back on Monday, obviously. But before I get too far ahead, after Sunday's game, here's the breaking news, which most of y'all know. Verlander now is being shut down for 2 weeks. Will not pitch. He's got some elbow strain or whatever it is. Going to see if it gets better with rest. But at this point, the best case scenario for Justin Verlander, that's what I said, right? Verlander? He's out. Yeah, 2 weeks at least. Well, shut down for 2 weeks. And then if and when he can come back, I mean, the earliest you could expect him back is probably in September, which is a month away. Month and a few days away, if that is the case. But if the thing doesn't heal like they think it will, I mean, this is sort of the area where a lot of pitchers have Tommy John. And if that's the case, of course he's out all of this year and probably all of next year as well. So, and Verlander's not, what's he, 37 years old? So I'm not going to expect Verlander to come back anytime soon. We'll see what, apparently he's reevaluated in 2 weeks, so we'll see sort of what they see. But I don't even know if Verlander would choose to have Tommy John because he's 37. I mean, you come back when you're, 39. I mean, if Verlander could do it, So he's out. Your ace. Your guy you lean on in playoff games and once out of every fifth day to, go out there and be an ace, which he has been since he's been an Astro. He's been very good. But he's out. He's hurt. So now you got people like Lance McCullers, who's never proven to stay healthy, although this is a 60-game season. Different things, we'll see. You have Greinke, who probably needs a few more starts, according to him, for his endurance level to be back, to major league shape. You got Josh James, who I'll talk about in a minute here, and you have Framber Valdez, who just disgusts me in every way, shape, and form, the way he pitches. And he pitches tonight. If you're watching this video, obviously, you've seen him pitch already. Against the Dodgers, of all teams. So it's yeah. Josh James, so we'll roll into Monday here. So, Diaz on the IL. Of course, Verlander on the IL. Diaz, I don't think his stint will be long. He could be back any day, actually. Well, we'll just fast forward to, I don't know. Diaz is a utility guy, not huge. Verlander is huge and a big loss for the team, obviously. I really don't see them winning the World Series if they don't have an ace. Unless you have somebody out of nowhere that steps up and is huge. But right now, looking at the roster and our starting rotation, there's no possible way they get to or win a sort of shortened season type World Series. Anyway, trying to think. So Monday rolls around. Josh James gets the start. Not huge on him. He's usually been a bullpen type guy. He's had a few starts, but nothing big. Wasn't feeling great about him going into the start. He worked out of some trouble in the first inning. But right from the get-go, his pitch count was running up. I mean, he had some simulated start before the season started where he threw about 80, 90 pitches. So he, like McCullers, probably could handle a little bigger workload than the others. But that pitch count was running up very quick. But he had some strikeouts. He also had issues locating. Threw a lot of balls. I think he had at one point when he was like at 60, 70 pitches, he had like 38 strikes, 34 balls. That's not a very good ratio. But he had like 5 strikeouts, 5 walks, I believe. And he gave up there was a bases loaded, nobody out situation. They got a ground ball double play. That scored a run. And then Evan White of the Mariners hit a 2-run home run. So 3 runs, 3 innings. He wasn't very good. We'll see. But the offense bailed him out. So the offense got going. Bregman had a 3-run home run. Altuve had a solo shot. They scored runs. They won that 8-5. In fact, if my phone works here, let's see. One guy that really stepped up, did a good job. Let's see here. Was Brandon Belak, I believe is his name. Yeah, Brandon Belak, who got called up after Verlander went down, came in and went 3 1/3, allowed 4 hits, 2 runs. One of those runs was actually given up by the Paredes, who came in. But he really sort of got us through the middle part of that game, keeping things where they were and letting our offense sort of come to life. He gets credit for the win. 4 strikeouts, didn't walk a hitter, and he gave up 2. Well, actually, only one of those runs was earned. But Paredes came in for 2/3. He's been just okay. Cy Snead has been good in his outings, and then Osuna gets his first save. So as the bullpen goes, just aside from Chris Davinsky and Joe Biagini, everybody else has been just fine. I've had no issues with anybody. Greinke and Josh James, obviously, I guess they got to get a few more starts. I'll try to give them the benefit of the doubt. Just get them some more starts. Hopefully things will round into form for them too. And you're still waiting on, Urquidy to get back. And Alvarez. Alvarez will just add to an already good lineup. And if Urquidy gets back, he'll be right in that rotation, which will knock Framber Valdez out, who pitches tonight. I have a bad feeling about Framber Valdez facing the Dodgers tonight. I'll go ahead and say that. Walker Buehler for the Dodgers, who's an ace along with Kershaw. Kershaw's hurt, of course, on the IL. I don't know when they expect him back, but Walker Buehler gets his first start. He's pitching their 5th game, just like us, so he got pushed back in the rotation. It's so weird because with the whole spring training, summer camp 2.0 type deal thing, these pitchers didn't get the work. It was just weird with sort of half a spring training in March and then coming back and not having your usual month plus of spring training. So a lot of these pitchers, one thing the Astros have done in past years is the offense gets off to a slow start. It's like 4 or 5 games. They score maybe 2-3 runs if you're lucky. It hasn't been that way this year. In fact, the opposite has actually occurred. Opposed to Verlander and McCullers in their first 2 starts, the pitchers have been behind. And we've scored, 8, 7, 6, 8, so we're scoring just fine. And we'll see what happens tonight with the Dodgers. Obviously, like I said, if you're watching this video, you've seen the game already. And maybe the Wednesday game as well. But, so anyway. Yeah, I don't have a good feeling about tonight. I have a feeling it might get ugly quick. If the offense can get going, Walker Buehler's no walk in the park. No pun intended, but we'll just see. But the pitching line, the starting line, pitching-wise, doesn't favor the Astros. They're underdogs tonight, and Framber Valdez, God bless him. I have not been a fan of him, but I'm trying to sort of erase the past, new season, new things, so we'll see and wait and see what happens there. And then Wednesday Hasn't been announced yet. That was supposed to be Verlander's day, but obviously he's not going to pitch anytime soon, so we'll see. That might be a bullpen day. And then is it Dustin May, I believe, for the Dodgers? Is that his first name? As I look at this right now? Yeah, Dustin May, who started opening day. Actually wasn't terrible, but I don't know how far he went, really. So yeah, you got 2 games, off day Thursday, and then you'll take your first road trip, get on the plane, go to Los Angeles, Anaheim, whatever you want to call it, to play the Angels for 3. So, but anyway, I wanted to finish up the first series before I got on and talk to you guys. So that's where we're at. 3-1, can't be upset. Record-wise, things are good, but they do have issues with Verlander. One thing I forgot to mention, after Monday's game, Dusty Baker in the press conference announced that both Ryan Pressly, who I was surprised did not pitch yesterday, but Pressly and Davinsky now have elbow soreness. So I haven't heard that they've been put on the IL. They're day-to-day, I believe. That was the last update I got. So maybe I'll find out more tonight as the game goes on after the game. But I have not heard news on them going on the IL quite yet. But they're probably not pitching out of the bullpen for the next few days, I would guess. But this, you sort of expect this, I guess. The Verlander news about him, being shut down really came out of nowhere because he had showed no signs in opening day. He was just his usual self. And then 2 days later, here comes the news. And then the other 2 having soreness. I mean, this is just part of what this season is going to be like. Maybe if you get through the month of, August, which is weird because at the end of August, I mean, you got 1 month when the playoff starts, but all these players should be up to speed, hopefully. So I guess you'd have to sort of expect some injuries, some lingering things. But yeah, I mean, Diaz on the IL, of course, Verlander on the IL for probably a nice, good, long period of time, and then we'll wait and see with Pressly and Davinsky. So yeah, but the young guys in the bullpen have not allowed a run yet. So, Paredes, Javier, Taylor, they called up, Bielak. They've been good. So, I mean, it's only been 4 games, so we'll wait and see. But yeah, I mean, everything's 3-1. I really can't complain. You are what your record says you are. The Astros are 3-1. That's tied for first in the division with the Oakland A's. Also, one thing, I don't think I talked about this. The expanded playoff roster, where now 16 teams are going to make it. That was decided right when the opening day, actually, for the Nationals and Yankees was going on. So they're going to pick every first and second place teams in their respective leagues, which is 6 in the AL, 6 in the NL, and then the other 2 teams with the best records. So 2 third-place teams, I guess, with best records, or a fourth-place team if the division's very good. So you'll pick your 8 that way, and first-place teams really get no benefit out of this. They have to play a 3-game series at home against the 8th-seeded team. So you'll have 3-game series, and then everything will go back to the way it is. So your wild card one-game play-in is eliminated. So I think that actually helps those teams, especially if you're the first wild card team and you got nine innings to move on. You actually get 3 games now. So it makes things more interesting, but I don't think it's a benefit to the teams like the Yankees, Dodgers, Astros, those teams that are slam dunks to make the playoffs, because now they have to play a 3-game series where anything can really happen. But it's more interesting, and you're allowed, I guess, to do these weird things in a season like this one. Watching games with no fans has been a little weird. The piped-in crowd noise actually works, I feel like. It makes it feel like if you're watching on TV, that actually has been good. And I'm actually getting used to the cardboard cutouts. So, obviously, if you look at the fans directly, it looks fake, obviously, because it is fake. But if you're just watching the actual play on the field, seeing faces sort of in the background just sort of blend in makes it more look like the stadium, I guess, is somewhat full. So the ideas they've tried have been okay with. Like, they've helped more than they've hurt. But I like the piped-in crowd noise and more cardboard cutouts. I guess right now behind home plate at Minute Maid, there's nobody. I don't know if that changes or not. I know they have the cardboard cutouts in the Crawford boxes, and I saw some in right field behind the bullpen yesterday. But, fans pay. Like, if they want a cardboard cutout of themselves, they'll pay the money. So we'll see how much is added as the year goes on here. But that's about all I got for you. Again, we'll be looking to do this Sunday night. Will be my next time I hopefully will be on. It's really hard to get guests when I do these podcasts on Sunday. But we'll wait and see. They'll get two games here with the Dodgers and then 3 on the road with the Angels. So we'll see how things sort of shape out there. But Astros play here tonight at 8, so that is Valdez and Walker Buehler, of course. I just hopefully the offense can come out swinging, but with Valdez against a Dodgers lineup who's pretty full of hitters, all-stars, it might be a tough. Just keep the game competitive, which might be actually a tougher loss if it's competitive, or the Astros have the lead and blow it. So sometimes, just putting yourself out of your misery in the early innings can give you a benefit, but I want to actually, have a nice game. I don't know. I just don't think the Astros will win today. Hopefully can win tomorrow, but we have no idea who's pitching tomorrow. I think our bats would actually be able to hit a little bit better against Dustin May, obviously. But we might win a ton of games, scoring 9, 10 runs, because our pitching right now, as of now, hopefully it gets better as the season goes on, but as of now, the pitching is not very good. But anyway, so we'll get this video uploaded. You'll probably, if you want to watch it right away, those of you that are subscribers out there will get the notification. It will be up at midnight tonight. So the game will be played, at least the first of this 2-game set against the Dodgers, and then we'll go on from there. I'm trying to think. So if they can split with LA, I'll take it, and then you go into Los Angeles, wherever the Angels play, and play them for 3. So I'm hoping to take 2 or 3 there. So if they go 4-3, that sound right? No, not 4-3. If they go 3-2, wait, I'm trying to think. Yes, 3-2. If they go 3-2 this week, I'll take it. If I'm here on Sunday night and they took 2 or 3 anyway, from the Angels and split with the Dodgers, I'll definitely take it. So anyway, I'll leave things there. Like I said, 3-1, so can't complain. But I'll leave things there, and we'll talk to you whenever next time is.